I spoke about the way in which artists work, especially in the rehearsal room, making work. Mainly because I'm interested in extrapolating the kind of leadership processes that go into making a piece of extraordinary, impossible piece of work. The special thing, of course, that artists have is they're often doing something for the first time. They've never done anything before. So the process is really, really important to making that. So I kind of looked at that, the sort of 4-week rehearsal process for an average piece of theatre, for example, and how the first 2 weeks is all about developing and establishing an environment of trust, which effectively means that the director has to kind of take a step back and listen a lot to the ensemble and the people that they're working with. And that's really about establishing a safe space for people to be able to contribute ideas, to feel that they can bring their full self into the room. And it also means the director also has to be quite vulnerable because he knows and she knows that they're going to be asking the actors to do that. So that sense of being able to also expose themselves and be vulnerable about why they're in the room too is kind of key to that process. So it's quite interesting to map that onto working with teams, on a day-to-day basis, and how much time do we actually give to that with our teams to really get to know them without the pressure of having to deliver. And that's really what that bit's about. Business world can learn, leadership for sure, can learn how to be comfortable with uncertainty. So you're in an environment you don't quite know how this thing's going to turn out, but you've really got to trust, and I use the L word, you've got to love the people you're working with. You've got to truly trust that they're going to be able to do something magical. And even if you think they're not necessarily the perfect people for the job, they're who you've got. So you've got to kind of bring out the best in them in order to do that. So I think that's the thing particularly theatre directors, good theatre directors are very good at. They bring out the best with whomever's in the room. And that's the thing I think the big thing we can learn for kind of leadership. Listen, and listen, I think. Shutting up, really. I think it's important to have your own ideas. It's important to have your kind of ideas of a vision for where you think this should go. It's also important to let that go and be able to be truly present with whoever you're speaking with. So that could be, whether it's any member of your team, from the administrator right up to more specialist workers, really understanding their process, empathetically understanding it. So again, with a sense of love, even if you may not quote unquote like them, they may not be your kind of people, you've got to have a really great respect for what they do. That can be very hard when you're trying to deliver. A lot of the time you're like, why don't you just do it my way, And actually what you're trying to do is, what way would you do this? And how can I help you do it better? And that, I think, is the thing that would be great. If I could take that through to my team, that would be a good thing. Well, I joked earlier about this phrase, the future of work is human, and I said, coming with the arts world, it can be nothing but. We are absolutely obsessed with people and human beings and what it is to be human. That's why we do what we do. I do think, though, that is beginning to bleed into other areas of business. This whole conversation today really has been about that. So I think at least the question of shifting away from productivity and looking at the experience of doing what we do. How do we make it fully engaging? How do we really engage with the people around us who we spend all our time with? How can we make that the most enlivening experience for everybody? I hope that that's what it looks like.